Hey, Tom, this is Sheets. I didn't want you to think I forgot about you. I know you wanted me to talk to you about using the Hold'em resources and the calls and the overcalls and things like that. I figured it'd just be easier to do a YouTube video just for you on it. I mean, it's pretty easy, but I just didn't want to show you. I did want to show you something separately. Basically, this is the site. You go to HoldemResources.net, and then what you would just do is you'd click on Nash Calculator and you would enter information here. I'll take like a hand for example. I mean, this is one somebody sent me actually. This is actually just one somebody sent me one of their hand history reviews. I mean, just to show you. I mean, this is one of Malikis's hands, and you just enter all the blinds and antes into here, and then it spits out the information. Now, I want to show you a little trick here. Let me find it. Hold on. Should be more prepared. But there's this other cool program called ICM Explorer. It's actually put out by another training site, so I don't want to get too public with it. But it's really good. And one of the things it allows you to do, and I don't really know everything about the way it works, but you could cut and paste the hand history that you want in here, and then you hit Nash Calculator, and check this out. It automatically populates it with all the information, with the stacks and all that, which is actually pretty cool. So this is what happens after you've either inputted the data manually or you've had it imported. And what this does is this shows you the different options for each stack, just based on Nash equilibrium push fold stuff. So for example, the way you read this is if you're the guy under the gun with 28,000 chips, you should be shoving jacks and higher, ace 10 suited and higher, ace 5 suited, ace jack off suited and up, etc. And then this has the list of what everybody behind you should be calling with. Like under the gun +1 should be calling with jacks, under the gun +2 should be calling with jacks and up, under the gun +3 calling with jacks and up, ace king. And when you go more to the indentation of that, okay, that's the overcall range. So let's say the under the gun is supposed to be able to shove with this. Given the fact that under the gun +1 is called, this is the overcall range of all these other guys. You follow that? This is under the gun what he should be shoving. This is what under the gun +1 should be calling with jacks and higher. And this is the overcall range given under the gun +1 has already gone all in over the top. Like for example, and you can go down here to the to here. Let's see, this is the same hand from the cutoff's perspective. From the cutoff, he should be opening or he should be shoving with all this range. Now, given the fact that he's going to be shoving with this range, this is the calling range of the button. The button should be calling with top 10%. And here again on the indentation, that is the overcall range. So given the fact that the cutoff is shoving and the button is shoving on top, this is what the small blind, given his stack, should be overcalling with. And so on. Same thing here. If the button open shoves here, this is what the small blind should call with. This is what the big blind should call with. But this is the overcall range, right? If the button is shoving here, and given the fact that the small blind is already called, this is the overcall range for the big blind. Okay? Now here, if that wasn't going too fast, let's say the small blind open shoves, and this is the calling range of the big blind. Where's the overcall range? Why is there one? Why isn't there one? Because there's nobody left, right? There's no overcall. There's only one caller. So that's basically the way this overcall business works. Or that's the way you read this. And again, all this is about is just tweaking what you put into this stuff. If you put different, obviously different stack sizes are going to come up with different results. But that's how you read it. Again, just one more time. If you're under the gun +3 in this scenario, and again, it tells you what your stack is, 20,470, which translates to about, 15, 16, 17 big blinds. But it's not just that you have 15, 16, 17 big blinds. It also takes into account, what all these other guys have as well. But again, if you're, who did I say you were going to be? Under the gun plus 3? So if you're under the gun plus 3, this is your optimal shoving range. And let's say you're under the gun plus 4 in this scenario and under the gun plus 3 shoved, this is your calling range. And let's say you were in the cutoff in the same scenario where the under the gun plus 3 shoved and under the gun plus 4 called, your overcalling range should only be queens and higher. So I hope that kind of clears that up a little bit. The point I was making, I think, in the video was that when you get down to these late position guys, you'd be surprised how loose some of these overcalls could be. Like, here the button, if he's going to shove 37% and the small blind comes over the top, you'd find it pretty unlikely that you'd ever make an overcall with 4s. But that's one of the cool things about game theory optimal calculations is you really can't argue. I mean, it's really just math based. So that's how to use this, and now it's just a matter of spending 700,000 hours playing with it. I hope that helps. I hope it didn't confuse you too much. And yeah, that's it.